Throughout the centuries, philosophers, politicians, spiritual leaders, musicians, naturalists, artists, scientists, and many other creative minds have promoted the healing power of nature. We will take a quick look at the influence of these thought leaders and the timeless wisdom they have shared. Modern research is focusing in on the effects of time spent in nature, with many studies demonstrating several benefits. We will answer the query of why nature is so good for us. Discover for yourself nature's power of bringing good health and happiness to your life. Later today, together, we will experience a 20-minute virtual wander through the forest as we mindfully find our way, noticing fauna and flora and enlivening our senses. My name is Taimi. I am a certified forest therapy guide. I have been trained to lead people on slow, quiet, mindful walks in wild places. I have been offering this service for more than 5 years, and I have focused to deliver this practice to healthcare workers and seniors. I grew up and worked in the retirement and long-term care sector and understand the need to support these people, my people, as they work or live in this sort of environment. It is an honor. Let's recap on our previous session about mindfulness in nature. What is it? Forest therapy is time spent in nature to slow down, to notice your surrounding with all your senses, and to allow the pace of nature to soothe and comfort you. Why do we practice? Well, there are many proven benefits that bring healing and wellness. And how do we do it? Well, there's a series of invitations that help allow your body and mind to become attuned, focused, and receptive in a mindful way. The focus of forest therapy is to support and improve the well-being of the participant through guided experiences in the forest or other natural settings. As a forest therapy guide, I lead you on a quiet walk and invite you to pause and take notice of your surroundings through a series of invitations. Each invitation is part of a sequence to help you connect with nature in a meaningful, healing way. The benefits include reduced stress and anxiety, improved concentration and creativity, boosted immune functioning, increased feelings of comfort, decreased blood pressure, and overall better mood and restful sleep. We, as a society, have modernized and separated ourselves from nature. Our houses, technology, mindset, conveniences, lifestyle, and way of being have caused us to believe that we are special. We shape the world around us instead of being part of it. This is unnatural. This separateness is causing a global mental health crisis. Getting back to the sensory experience of spending time in nature will help us connect back to ourselves. We have known for more than a millennia that nature brings feelings of comfort and well-being. The groundwork has been laid for us by brilliant minds. Let's explore the wisdom that has been generously shared to remind us of the healing power of nature. I have chosen some notable quotes and wish to tell you a bit about each historical thought leader. This wisdom spans time. We will grab some snippets from the past and the present as we consider what future potential we can cultivate. There is something marvelous in all things nature. This was written by Aristotle, who was a Greek philosopher who lived from 384 to 322 BC. He was a student of Plato and later tutored Alexander the Great. Aristotle's philosophy covers a wide range of subjects, including politics, ethics, metaphysics, and biology. Aristotle's work have had a profound influence on Western philosophy and science. For in the true nature of things, if we rightly consider, every green tree is far more glorious than if it were made of gold and silver. This quote is from Martin Luther, who is a German priest, theologian, author, hymn writer, and professor. A former Augustinian friar, he is best known as the seminal figure in the Protestant Reformation and the namesake of Lutheranism. Luther was ordained to priesthood in 1507. The woods, the trees, and the rocks give man the residence he needs. Ludwig van Beethoven was a German composer and pianist. Beethoven remains one of the most admired composers in the history of Western music. His work ranks amongst the most performed of the classical music repertoire and spans the transition from the classical period to the Romantic era in classical music. There is a serene and settled majesty to woodland scenery that enters into the soul and delights and elevates it and fills it with noble inclinations. Washington Irving was an American short story writer, an essayist, a biographer, historian, and diplomat of the early 19th century. Adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. Ralph Waldo Emerson, who went by his middle name Waldo, was an American essayist, lecturer, philosopher, abolitionist, and poet who led the transcendentalist movement in the mid-19th century. I go to nature to be soothed and healed and to have my senses put in order. John Burroughs was an American essayist and naturalist who lived and wrote after the manner of Henry David Thoreau, studying and celebrating nature. Thousands of tired, nerve-shaken, over-civilized people are beginning to find out that going to the mountains is going home, that wildness is a necessity. John Muir, also known as John of the Mountains and father of the national parks, was an influential Scottish-American naturalist, author, environmental philosopher, botanist, zoologist, glaciologist, and early advocate for the preservation of wilderness in the United States of America. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. Albert Einstein was a theoretical physicist, widely acknowledged to be one of the greatest and most influential physicists of all times. I love to think of nature as an unlimited broadcasting station through which God speaks to us every hour if we will only tune in. George Washington Carver was an American agricultural scientist and inventor who promoted alternative crops to cotton and methods to prevent soil depletion. He was the most prominent Black scientist of the early 20th century. The greener the setting, the more the relief. Richard Louv is an American nonfiction author and journalist. He is best known for his 7th book, Last Child of the Woods, Saving Our Children from Nature Deficit Disorder, which investigates the relationship of children and the natural world in current and historical contexts. There is no medicine you can take that has such a direct influence on your health as a walk in a beautiful forest. Dr. Quinn Lee is a renowned expert on Shinrin-yoku, also known as forest bathing and forest therapy. He has studied at Stanford University. Professor Lee is the world's most foremost expert in forest medicine and immunology. Research shows that nature is therapeutic, promotes general health and well-being, and blue space in both urban and rural settings further enhances and broadens cognitive, emotional, psychological, social, physical, and spiritual benefits. Dr. Wallace J. Nichols is a marine biologist, author, and conservationist known for his work on sea turtles and the ocean. He is also the founder of the Blue Mind movement, which promotes the use of water and nature as a means of improving mental health and well-being. We often forget that we are nature. Nature is not separate from us, so when we lose our connection to nature, we have lost our connection to ourselves. Andy Goldworthy is an English sculptor, a photographer, and environmentalist who produces site-specific sculptures and land art situated in natural and urban settings. We have much to learn by studying nature and taking the time to tease out its secrets. David Suzuki is a Canadian scientist, environmentalist, and broadcaster. Suzuki is best known for his work as an environmental activist and as the host of the long-running television show, The Nature of Things. He has also written numerous books on science and the environment and has received numerous awards for his work in conservation and sustainability. 1 in 6 people globally have one or more mental health issue. And in Canada, we're reporting that 1 in 3 of us will be affected with a mental health issue within our lifetime. Apparently, in 2018, an estimated 5.3 million Canadians reported that they needed help for their mental health in the previous year, and this has only drastically escalated during the pandemic. Recently, 23% of Canadians screened positive for generalized anxiety disorder and major depressive disorder. I think we can agree that there is a need for programs that support mental wellness. With this growing crisis in mental health and increasing evidence supporting the health benefits of exposure to nature, governments, policymakers, employers, healthcare providers, and organizations around the world are investing in research and nature interventions to treat mental health issues and support mental well-being. A plethora of studies have been conducted to prove the benefits of nature. Recently, a study reviewed 301 academic articles spanning 62 countries and found 227 intangible links to well-being that nature provides. This is much more significant than we once thought. This study found that connecting with nature provides opportunities for recreation and leisure, spiritual fulfillment, personal development, social relations, and aesthetic experiences. Yale University recently published a paper entitled Ecopsychology: How Immersion in Nature Benefits Your Health, and exclaimed the studies point in one direction. Nature is not only nice to have, it is a have to have for physical health and cognitive function. Nature impacts our physiological and mental states. Because we are diving into this topic with depth today, let's review a detailed list of the proven benefits of mindfulness in nature. The benefits. It reduces stress-related hormones. It increases parasympathetic nerve activity. It suppresses sympathetic nerve activity. It decreases the heart contraction phase, diastolic blood pressure, and pulse rate. It relieves tension and elevates mood. It boosts the immune system with an increase in the count of the body's natural killer cells. It increases anti-cancer protein production, and it produces restful sleep. There's more. the benefits continue. It alleviates stressful conditions such as tension, depression, anger, fatigue, and confusion. It improves a person's vigor, vitality, and enhances their life energy. It improves subjective symptoms of physical pain. It improves the mood, such as total health and mental health. It reduces systolic blood pressure, diastolic blood pressure, and improves the autonomic nervous system, such as a decrease in pulse rate. And it improves physical condition through exercise and rehabilitation. As a result of all this data, there were several countries that have been early adopters of forest therapy, such as Japan. Japan coined the phrase forest therapy and dedicated more than $4 million to develop a nature program. To date, they have created 65 forest therapy centers in Japan. Let's take a look at what some of the rest of the world is doing. The United States have developed a nature prescription program entitled ParkRx, in which doctors can prescribe exposure to nature as a remedy for physical and mental health issues. Additionally, the association I trained with, the Association of Forest and Nature Therapy, was founded over 10 years ago, and they have trained more than 2,000 guides in more than 60 countries around the world. Australia created a program called Healthy Parks, Healthy People, and it's grown to be a global movement which is helping communities around the world realize the health and well-being benefits of spending time in parks and nature. This program has sparked inspiration in 37 other countries. Australia estimates that it already has reduced healthcare costs by $200 million, and they have also hosted more than 37 million walks. South Korea was another early adopter. They have invested $140 million in establishing a national forest healing center, and they've opened 37 healing forests, making it accessible to most urban areas. They have a lofty goal of training 500 instructors to lead nature walks and to conduct coordinated medical research at 34 separate sites. Finland has been declared the happiest nation in the world. They have invested $16 million in the Green Health and Research Project. The focus of their research has been to investigate the benefits of natural environments available to city dwellers. For example, managed city parks and gardens. The results show that just 15 to 45 minutes in a city park, even one with pavement, crowds, and some noise, were enough to improve mood, vitality, and feelings of restoration. Additionally, they have developed self-guided power trails where 80% of participants have experienced psychological and physiological benefits. Singapore is committed to green spaces. This country spends $150 million to bring more greenery to urban spaces, which has earned them the title of most biophilic city in the world. They have an ambitious goal of ensuring that 80% of its people will live within 400 meters of green space. Canada is making great strides in promoting the practice of forest therapy. The David Suzuki Foundation created 30 by 30 to help people develop the habit of spending more time in nature. The idea behind this initiative is to challenge yourself to get outside for 30 minutes for 30 days to see how it may impact your life. Parks RX program has spread to Canada and launched within the last 2 years. I had the pleasure of working on an advisory team to this program. The founder, Dr. Melissa Lem, has been instrumental in supporting the concept of medical professionals prescribing nature therapy to their patients here in Canada. Additionally, she believes and advocates that forest therapy research can have practical applications to inform policymakers and practitioners in ecosystem management discourse. Mood walks was founded by Canadian Mental Health Association, and it promotes outdoor activity for well-being. This is just really, you might want to say, the tip of the iceberg, a portion of what is happening in this arena. I wholeheartedly believe that we will hear more and more about this practice over the coming years, and the terminology will become commonplace. My personal library has grown from 3 or 4 books on the subject to well over 100. We really don't need studies or thought leaders or investments of millions of dollars to realize that nature is good for us. We just know it in our hearts and in our minds. Today's walk will take us on a wander in the forest that highlights the seasonal shift from winter to spring. For me, nature holds a lot of wisdom. It has taught me how to transition. Winter can signify the ending of something, and spring can symbolize the hope and anticipation of something new, a beginning. I encourage you to find your own lessons in nature. Just pause and notice. Each of the photos and videos that are shared are taken by me in the region that I live, in the countryside about 2 hours west of Ottawa. We have lakes, streams, wetlands, magnificent rock outcrops, meadows, and forests. Come, walk with me.